Hi, I'm Cecil Mills, broadcasting live from the world's largest pollution-free automotive engine research laboratory. I did want you to see my tree fort, and it's right there. Can you see it? I have a couple housekeeping things to talk about today. I want to show you some stuff. This is part 2 of another video that I got rained out on. It's about hydrogen peroxide, how you ignite it, and stuff like this. This is how you ignite it. I just randomly came on a video about the Saunders row. They say Sanders, I say Saunders. Is S-A-U-N-D-E-R-S. But they go by SR. They build a bunch of planes. The video I first came on was planes that never flew or something like that, the SR-177. And yeah, I've talked about this. All came from World War II, the German V1, V2 missiles that they were launching at England from France and Normandy, I think. Well, I kind of didn't realize this, but I guess I kind of knew it, but it didn't really form up in my mind. Those first rockets were what they call hypergolic. That's when you mix two fuels together and they self-ignite. So, after the war, during World War II, at the end of World War II, there was the Messerschmitt Me-163, was apparently the first rocket plane. And you can search for it on YouTube. A bunch of stuff comes up on it. But then the war ended, and England and America, both the United States, both started experimenting with rocket planes. So I never realized. I've seen the videos of it. You can check on the X1, Chuck Yeager and all that, and you can see they used red nitric acid or something, a hypergolic fuel, but they also used hydrogen peroxide. Well, apparently it's hypergolic. Saunders row, the SR-53, was the first rocket plane to use a metal catalyst. And I didn't realize this, but I do now. You know, a lot of people would have saw that and not realized what they were talking about. But in 1965, FMC, I guess they heard about the Saunders row metal ignition catalyst, and it was a lot better and safer than the hypergolic fuels. You can just see that's an accident waiting to happen. And I want to show you these ignition screens. These are stainless steel. They're used from a rocket car from a fellow named Fred GOESKE, who had 4 rocket cars, and he raced them. He was the Plymouth dealers. Funny car. He was sponsored by the Southern California Plymouth Dealers Association or something like that. But he was a well-known racer, and he also had 4 rocket cars. And all this stuff's hard to get. Probably one person in 100,000 has never seen these. Wouldn't know, and most of those wouldn't know what it was if they saw it. These are stainless steel screens. I'm guessing that green stuff is from the rocket motor reaction there, and supposedly you can clean them with nitric acid and different stuff. I need some new ones. There may be more modern stuff. Aerojet 405 used to be called Shell 405. You can look that up on Google or YouTube probably. And it uses a rhodium ignition catalyst, where these are silver plated stainless steel screens, and then they're heat treated, because the reaction of 90% hydrogen peroxide is about the melting point of silver within a few degrees. You can see these are severely degraded here, and they may have some usefulness. I was glad Fred sold them to me. That was good of him. I understood he took a rocket apart to sell me these, but he was unable. The reason we don't see rocket cars racing is because the government restrictions on hydrogen peroxide are so severe that, and it's the cleanest fuel there is. If you think the government is doing everything they can to abate pollution, and this is just how simple it is. Does this make sense to you? The cleanest fuel will make the cleanest exhaust gas effluent? Seems real basic to me. No amount of catalytic converters or smog control devices you put on a gasoline engine is going to make it quit putting out carbon. You know, it's just chemistry. So hydrogen peroxide can put out water and oxygen. It can actually enrich the air as you drive your car. So, and it's also much more powerful than gasoline. So if it's 3 times as powerful as gasoline, we're going to go 3 times as far, or use a third about as much. Or if the engine is the same efficiency, or if the engine is more efficient, which 4-stroke piston engines are not very efficient. So I just wanted to show you these. The point I'm making is about the SR-53 was the first rocket I know of to use a solid metal catalyst that's reusable. These have been used several times, I'm sure. So in 1965, I'm going to put some of these patent numbers in the comments where you can, I'm not sure that you can tap on them and go straight to the patent office, but if you know the patent number, you can go to U.S.Patent.gov and type in the number, and the full patent will come up like a PDF file or something, I don't know. So mostly I wanted to tell you about the solid ignition catalyst. In 1965, General Electric, who built a lot of jet engines for planes and stuff for the government, got a lot of government contracts. They actually patented and I'll put this in the comments, the patent number, they actually patented a hydrogen peroxide piston engine. So people ask me, how do you ignite hydrogen peroxide? Well, it's non-flammable. But 90% hydrogen peroxide explodes to 5,000 times its original volume as it goes from, decomposes technically is the word, rapidly, extremely rapidly. Some of the catalyst patents tell how fast it ignites from the different materials of the catalyst: silver, platinum, palladium, rhodium. So in 1965, General Electric patented a piston engine, a hydrogen peroxide piston engine. I don't think much of their, I can't say it's pollution free, but they were close just because the fuel was different. But when I look at the patent, it's a piston engine. I think, well, it must have had oil in the crankshaft. Some of it could migrate to the decomposition chamber, like the combustion chamber. So I'm going to put some of these patent numbers in the comments, and like I say, you may not be able to go directly to them by tapping on them, but I think you can type them in, go to USPTO.gov, and it'll come up and they'll say category or patent number. Usually patent number shows up right on the front page there, first thing. So if you know the patent number, you can go straight to it, and you can read about it if you're interested. So that's part 2 of this video. Plus I want to show you my tree fort, you know, so thanks for watching. You know, there's one other thing, housekeeping here. I've been trying to show up on Google, and you can subscribe. Some people, a few people subscribe, but I really wish that people would search for the world's largest pollution-free automotive engine research laboratory on Google, because we ought to be showing up. You know, I've signed up with Google and I put in all my information and whatnot, and I try it, I can't get it to come up. And they keep saying, well, here's a question. If you'd like to ask a question answered on Google, you know, type in your question. And I've done that a couple times, and we're still not showing up. But they have hundreds of things about how pollution is so bad, and it threatens all the life on Earth, and the Google car is measuring pollution, and the government is doing this and doing that. Hey, if there's a larger pollution-free automotive engine research laboratory on the planet, I'd like to know that, you know, because we got to move from saying, oh, pollution's bad. Okay, and once we get that, what are we going to do about it? Well, I don't think the government's going to do anything. They're stuck on saying, we got to have gasoline engines, and you're going to have another gizmo, and it's going to cost you a little more. And, you know, even if the federal government doesn't do it, the state of California makes them do it. But it's ridiculous. It's not changing anything. That's still the same amount or more poison gas coming out the tailpipe of that car, irregardless of it's just the chemical fact of burning a carbon-based fuel. So, I hope we start showing up on Google. I think people ought to be able to find us when they search for the world's largest pollution-free automotive engine research laboratory. It's not in Detroit. It's not in Frankfurt. It's not in Tokyo. I don't know, you know, they're not even trying as best I can tell. So, I see there's fuel cells, and you can say they're pollution-free, but they're not engines. They are a electrical generator with an electric motor. So, actually, a hydrogen peroxide engine could put oxygen back in the air, which in several of my other videos I kind of tell how much oxygen a gasoline engine takes out of the air. And it's right around 100 pounds of air for every gallon of gasoline. And it sucks if the air is 21% oxygen, which I can't help but think it's got to be going down, because every time you make CO2, it takes the oxygen and combines it with the carbon. It's no longer breathable by humans, and that oxygen is depleted from the atmosphere. So our oxygen level can't be what it used to be. Besides the fact that now we've got poison gas in the air. We're breathing a poison gas, and we're low on oxygen. So if you've been watching the coronavirus thing, and I'm getting over it now about lingering pneumonia, we need more oxygen. You know, we'd all be better off. It's not going to hurt us to breathe oxygen. It's one of the it's the most immediate human necessity. So, beats the dog crap out of polluting. So, okay, I hope you check out some of the patents I put in the comments here. And the other thing is, I make fun of a lot of stuff. It's such a crazy world these days. I'm going to kind of move my channel from being entertainment, because that's what YouTube gave me a license for, to information. I think people should know this. Other people should be able to look it up. If it gets you started thinking about all this stuff, and you start delving into it, it's fascinating. And, you know, we're way out ahead of you. So, anybody is free to contact me at cecilmills@hotmail.com. So, if you'd like to, go ahead, and I'll try to answer your questions. So, hope we start getting a little larger audience here. So, it wouldn't hurt if you asked people to subscribe. So, maybe there is stuff I done that's funny. So, thanks for watching. I hope I got your interest. This is mostly for, all in all, this is, some of it, there's so much conspiracy stuff around, it's hard not to make fun of it. But, I believe if you start checking into it, we've known this since World War II, that there's a fuel you can make from water that could put oxygen back in the air, and we're not doing a darn thing about it. We're not doing the first thing about it. If we really act like we want to do something about it. This is the thing that I think is most likely to succeed. So thanks a lot. I just wanted to show you these catalyst screens here, so you know how it works. Like I say, when it hits this here, the hydrogen peroxide comes in one side, comes out this side 5,000 times bigger when you have a 90% concentration of hydrogen peroxide. It's 53.3% water by weight and 47.7% oxygen by weight. So that's a substantial improvement, and it's pretty much in line with how much water a gasoline engine makes, because there's water in the air. You use a lot of air in a gasoline engine. Plus, gasoline is a hydrocarbon. The carbon part I talk about a lot, but the hydro part is hydrogen, and it makes quite a bit of water. You can figure it out if you got any kind of, it doesn't matter to me, but you can figure out how much water comes out of and then plus how much water is in the air, you know. So carburetor tuners pay attention to how much water is in the air because it displaces oxygen. So that makes it harder to breathe. This is why I think we have a lot of breathing problems. Asthma is going up. COPD, more and more people on oxygen all the time. There's a reason for it. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed my backyard here. I do. So thank you.